Alright, the lady on the front of here, her name is Donna, and she's quite naive. Alright. I'm going to try recording on this as well, just in case. It's an old phone, but I finally figured out how to make it record to the USB. And it is recording as well, so I'm live on YouTube, and I'm also recording on this phone for as long as it'll work for.
Welcome to Medicare.
Para español, marque 8.
In a few words, briefly tell me the reason for your call today.
Medicare and Medicaid fraud, an intentional misdiagnosis.
You're calling about Medicaid, is that right?
Yes.
Got it. I'll need your Medicare number from your red, white, and blue Medicare card. Do you have that handy?
Let me check. Could you put me through to an operator?
You'd like to speak with an agent, right?
Yes.
Just a moment while I transfer you to an agent who can help. This call may be monitored or recorded for quality and training purposes. After speaking with the agent, would you be willing to take part in a survey regarding your customer service experience? Say yes or press 1. Thank you. After speaking with the agent, please remain on the line for the survey.
Thank you for calling Medicare. My name is Mrs. Reed. How may I help you?
I've been trying to report a lot of crimes against me. How do I even get started? I'm disabled. I got disability in 2017, and it was backdated to 2016. And I was supposed to have a, what do you call that? The person you go to when you're being taken advantage of. When you don't have a friend or family member, case manager, is that right?
It's possible, sir. I'm still listening to you. What you're telling me. I'm still listening.
I'm having problems.
So what does Medicare have to do with all of this? Medicare.
Okay, so I am autistic, and I am gonna try to follow along, but the number that I was sent to is Medicare Ombudsman. I'm looking for my card right now. I'm sorry I don't have it ready already. I have a whole bunch of other paperwork here. Also, I have a problem with my left ear right now that's making it difficult to hear, and I do apologize. Also, one of the things about being autistic, there's sounds going on around me that if I'm not able to hear myself over them, I will raise my voice. It's not me screaming at you, and I don't hate you or anything like that. It's just part of the also, I have a stuttering issue, and I do apologize if I start stuttering or stammering. If I get talked over during something important that I'm saying, it may result in me stuttering a lot, and I do apologize for that as well. Please don't get mad at me for doing it. Mostly it's when I get scared. Anyway,
So, sir, how can Medicare assist you?
Well, I was told that this is the Medicare ombudsman's number. Is that correct?
No, this is not. No, sir, it is not.
Okay. Well, in that
They
case,
should have some type. Are you living in a facility?
no, ma'am. Not anymore. I was, but I was talked into going to. All right, I had therapy and a place in Nebraska, but I was told that in order to get the help stopping the abuse, I had to go get services along the Front Range of Colorado. So I went to the Front Range of Colorado, and I couldn't afford to rent the place that I was renting in Colorado and still rent the low-income place in Nebraska, so I had to choose one or the other. Meanwhile, it was assisted living there in Nebraska. It just, right after that, a friend of mine was killed, and I haven't been able to take care of myself, and I've been homeless ever since.
Sir, what is your Medicare number or your social?
Here, hold on a second. I can give you my social security number. Just give me a second. When I'm overwhelmed, I forget names and numbers real quickly. Uh, Let me see. Um, is there a Medicaid ombudsman?
Sir, I wouldn't know. I don't work for Medicaid. I can give you the number to your state Medicaid office, and you can give them a call and request their assistance.
Yes, ma'am.
Just one moment.
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna need to grab a pen anyway.
And what state are you calling from?
I'm in Tillamook, Oregon. I'm trying to remember the zip code here.
I don't need the zip
All
code. I
right.
just need the state. And you said Oregon?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Just one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that number is, let me know when you're ready,
I'm ready.
800
Okay.
699
Okay.
9075.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's your Oregon Medicaid office.
Yes, ma'am.
They're open 7 to 5 Pacific time. Was there anything else I can assist you with today?
Ma'am, I get bullied everywhere I go. I need help stopping it.
Well, sir, you're going to need to call the police.
I tried that. They bully me too. They use the mentally ill tag to deny me my rights.
Okay, well, you can file a complaint.
Ma'am, I can't file a complaint. I can't even function. I'm so scared of them. I'm a homeless man.
Well, well, you're going to have to go to the hospital or somewhere. Just one moment.
Well, the hospital won't take a report from me either.
But, sir, these are places that have to give you refuge of some kind. There are laws in place.
But they're not following
where
the
these
laws.
people have to do what they're supposed to do.
But they're not following the laws.
Just one moment.
Yes, ma'am.
They're doing what now?
They're not following the laws. I don't have a friend or family member to do this with me, so nobody's following the laws.
But you don't see you don't have a case manager. You don't have a social worker.
I don't. There's supposed to be people to do that, but there aren't any. They're not willing to do their jobs. They're not willing to look at evidence. They're not willing to allow me a room to sit down and write anything in when I'm abused. This all started in Colorado in 2016, ma'am.
What started it?
A friend of mine was suicidal, and I went to Virginia at her request because she was going to kill herself if I didn't. And then she tried to kill herself because I wasn't there fast enough. So I went there and I did everything that she wanted me to do, but she was a heroin addict, and I've never done heroin. I'm not a druggie, you know. So while I was there, I'm autistic and I was dehydrated. I mean, it's Virginia, you know. So I got dehydrated and I couldn't sleep and I couldn't work and my back was messed up and I didn't have anybody else there. Everybody that I knew that I was supposed to see there was either sick or I was too broke to go see them. And Natalie, you know, I did everything that she wanted me to do, but she got shot in the head. Not while I was in Virginia, though. Anyway, when I was in Virginia...
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Me too. Anyway, when I was in Virginia, they gave me a phone for my birthday. And that phone was broken. And Natalie's sister worked at a store there, and at the Cricket store, and they changed over my phone number from my flip phone to Natalie's old broken phone. And then it didn't work. So everything that happened after that with that phone was just, it didn't work. So I was dehydrated, and I screwed up my back helping to clean up Hurricane Matthew. And that was in North Carolina. I was working at a labor ready. And after that, I couldn't work anymore. I couldn't function, and I could barely walk. And most of the time, it's like that still. Anyway, when I was in Virginia, I went to the hospital. They claimed that I was arrested and that I was threatening to kill their family and all sorts of crazy stuff like that. Like, no, I wasn't. I was there because Natalie was going to kill herself, and she lied because her parents, or her mom, found her heroin when her and her twin sister were out with me on my birthday. So people just started spreading rumors that are even worse, and I tried explaining to Natalie and Alicia what was going on. I had to unblock them on Facebook because I figure with stuff like that, you just got to get rid of people and go away. I drove all the way home to Boulder, Colorado. Now, they didn't pretend that I did anything horrible to them. They just pretended like I stalked them and pretended like I was arrested. And I wasn't. I was taken to the hospital because I was dehydrated. The broken phone that they gave me for my birthday wasn't working, and that wasn't my fault. And then when I went over to explain it to them, my car broke down. And I was severely dehydrated, so the police came and they took me to the hospital. I had to honk my horn because I was stuck in traffic. And in Virginia, there's
Mhm.
trees everywhere, and they were hanging over the roads, and I had to be afraid of somebody like a family of 6 in a minivan running into me. Like, I literally could only stare forward. I didn't want to see it coming if someone ran into me. And anyway,
Okay.
Natalie's.
So may I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
So do you take medications now?
No, ma'am. What would I take medications for?
Well, when you said you were dehydrated, it just made me wonder, do you take medications
No, I was
that may
dehydrated
cause
because
you
I
to...
was in Virginia and it gets really hot there and really humid, and people who are from the Midwest, like
Mhm.
myself, tend to sweat ourselves to death. That's why they air condition the crap out of just about every business in Virginia.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was severely
So
dehydrated because I.
health-wise, you're doing pretty good health-wise?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Do you take medication because that goes with your health care?
Um, that that doesn't.
Hello?
I'm still here. That doesn't have anything to do with the abuse. No, I don't take medications, and no, I'm
Who is
not prescribed
who's
medications.
abusing you?
Um, well, right now, Tillamook Family Counseling Center, as well as Northwest Senior and Disability Centers. There's a lot that's been
Those are the
happening.
people abusing you?
Yes, ma'am. But the
Those are
thing, the thing is that
the
this.
centers?
Yes, ma'am. The staff there refused to do their job for a homeless man. Anyway, the thing with Natalie. I tried to get help. I'm autistic. Like I said, it's a communication issue. When I was taken to the hospital, Natalie and her sister pretended like I threatened their family and threatened to kill them, and that I was arrested for stalking and all sorts of creepy stuff like that didn't happen. I drove 1,700 miles to get away from them, and I knew them from Boulder, Colorado, where I used to work helping out the homeless and protecting everybody, basically. I was a homeless liaison. Anyway, one of their friends is a man-hating lesbian named Maddie Boa, and she spread a bunch of real horrible rumors in Boulder. Now, I didn't do drugs, I didn't do meth, I didn't do heroin or anything like that. But Natalie and her twin sister, and also Maddie Boa, used to be drug dealers down there on Pearl Street in Boulder, Colorado. And people started hurting me. They started hitting me and started threatening to kill me and started threatening to kill my family and started harassing me over the internet and making fake account after fake account after fake account. And I went to the police like I was told. The police wouldn't listen to me. They told me to man up. They told me that I needed to, that they had real police work to do, that I needed to go to mental health. And I was going to mental health. I had 3 different therapists I was telling about the situation and the abuse, the threats
When
against
is
my
the
life.
last time you saw your therapist?
I had to flee Nebraska in 2000.
You had to flee?
Yes, ma'am.
Why? Because of the two ladies?
Yes, ma'am. If you look up the name Natalie Bollinger, you'll get to see her face and my face and also the face of the guy that actually killed her. But her
Natalie
story,
who?
Natalie Bollinger,
Oh.
she was shot outside of
And that's in Virginia? That was in Virginia?
No, ma'am. She was shot almost a year and a half after that in Colorado. I was only 5 blocks away from where
Oh,
she
in
was shot.
Colorado.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am. I
okay.
had been
So
in
I
Virginia a
need
year
you to
earlier.
come up to date because you're telling me you're being bullied, but you're telling me a story about a lady named Natalie, and I'm not getting the connection.
And that's what I've been trying to do. I tried to start at the beginning so you'd get the connection. This is not just online, it's global. People harass me everywhere. I'm not allowed the rights of a disabled person or the rights of an American citizen.
But why not? Because you are an American citizen,
Because
and you are a disabled person. I know
because of
disabled
bias
people,
against the
and
homeless.
they get their needs met.
0.18% of our population are homeless, and 61% of those killed by police last year were homeless. The people who are most likely to be
I
killed in an
understand.
institution are homeless, and
I
81% of
understand
those in our
because they don't
institutions
get the
nationwide.
opportunity to find out that they may have other issues. They just see them acting out, and they trying to
It's
get
not
them in
acting out.
order, and they won't obey because they didn't have their medication.
Ma'am,
So
please
it's a
stop
tragic
selling that narrative
affair.
over the top of me, please. It's got nothing to do with medication. Please stop that. That's
Well,
inappropriate.
I'm asking you. I'm just trying to find out. You're not telling me.
I told you I don't take medication and I haven't been prescribed medication. You asked me that and I answered. I'm trying to fill in the gaps here.
No, I'm
Because of the situation with
okay,
Natalie
but I'm
Bollinger, I am harmed everywhere that I go.
because of this Natalie lady.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh wow. But she died a year and a half ago?
No, ma'am. She was killed in 2017. This abuse has been
Oh,
going
she
on
was
since
killed in
2016.
2017. I am so sorry to hear that.
Well, much of the problem is that the police tried to frame me for her murder before they found Joseph Michael Lopez, the guy who actually did it. It's a really famous web sleuth thing, so there's a lot of people who watch it and they get a hold of me and they threaten to kill me and my friends and family, just like her friends and family were threatening to do to me before Natalie got her brains blown out. Now, she was killed outside of Thornton, Colorado. The police repeatedly tried to insinuate or outright claim that I was schizophrenic to medical personnel. Literally, police officers that I was trying to turn in who tried to frame me for Natalie's murder took me to hospitals on more than one occasion when they were supposedly taking me somewhere where I was safe to make a police report. They repeatedly took me to the hospitals and told the hospitals that I was schizophrenic or bipolar.
Okay, so you don't receive those diagnoses. You don't believe you're schizophrenic. You don't believe
I
you're
don't have a
bipolar. You don't
diagnosis of
believe.
schizophrenic. I don't have a diagnosis of schizophrenic because I'm not schizophrenic. It takes 6 months to diagnose schizophrenia. Only one mental health professional has seen me long enough to do that because that was the only place that I was actually not victimized into moving before 6 months was up. I was able to see a mental health
But
therapist of my own named Marcia Estrada. I have the paperwork from her that explains what my diagnoses are right here with me. There's also the fact that it takes 6 months.
when was the last time you saw her?
I haven't gotten to see her in over 2 years. I already said that. She's in Nebraska and I had to flee Nebraska.
So you haven't seen the psychiatric
Ma'am,
doctor
would
or
you please
nurse or
stop
treatment
changing the
for
subject and reverting to the
you?
psychiatric part, please?
I'm trying to follow
You're
you.
not
I'm not
trying to figure nothing
changing
out. You're changing the
anything.
subject and forcing me to say the
I'm
same
not
thing more than
changing the
once.
subject. No, I am not. And you shouldn't yell at people who
I'm
trying to
not
help
yelling.
you,
I'm
sir.
not yelling. I am not yelling.
Yes, you are.
Please
Yes,
do
you
not play
are. You
victim.
shouldn't yell at people trying
Ma'am,
to
I am
assist
not
you.
yelling
I'm
at you. I
trying to
am not
help
yelling
you.
at you. I am not yelling at you. You are
I'm just
talking over
trying to
me.
make sure
This
that
is a
I'm
civil
getting
tone.
the
You are
issue
talking
correct,
over me.
what you're telling me. I'm not trying to do anything but listen to what you're telling me and put the pieces together best as
And
I can.
you keep reverting to the mental health thing and the taking medications thing more than once.
No, you brought it up.
No, you brought it up.
See, this is
Ma'am, I
not
am
fair.
recording
And
this
see,
for
you're
my
gonna
own
tell
safety.
people that I'm bullying you now. I'm not bullying you. See, that's what you're doing.
Ma'am,
You're
would you
already
please listen
on.
to me? Would you please listen to me? I am trying to put
I've
this
been
together for
listening
you.
to you.
Would you please listen
I
to
am
me?
listening. I've
You're
been
literally talking
listening.
over me. You have been doing this for
Stop saying
almost
I'm
5 minutes
listening.
straight. Please listen. Anyway, the situation with it being as global as it is that I am harmed everywhere that I go. And with police officers telling hospitals that I am schizophrenic, I have been greatly harmed because of that. They found Natalie's killer. They should have left me alone after that. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Now, the abuse that I've had to endure at hospitals, including being assaulted on January 28th, here in Tillamook, at the Tillamook Adventist Health. Their cameras show that I was indeed and in fact assaulted for trying to turn in crimes committed against me in Tillamook at the hospital. The disabilities that I have include post-traumatic stress disorder, autism, and Tourette's syndrome. These aren't things that hurt people.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm having communication difficulties, and like I was saying at the beginning, the outside environment does have a lot to do with my ability to communicate. I also can't hear out of my left ear currently. It's clogged, and I can't hear real well out of my right ear because of that situation. I'm stuck in traffic, and my voice does raise based on the environment around me. I'm not trying to yell at anyone. Anyway,
You said that already, okay?
Thank you. The doctor who assaulted me, his name is Dr. Stephan L. Stephanides. Stephan L. Stephanides. And he assaulted me here for trying to turn in police officers who wouldn't do their jobs. I'm disabled whether I'm homeless or not. And police officers, when you try to turn in crimes that are committed against you, they send you to mental health. Mental health tells you that it's not their job, and they send you right back to the police. Meanwhile, they don't mind committing crimes against Medicare and Medicaid by signing us up for programs that do not do anything to help stop the abuse. I'm going to these people as mandated reporters, and they're just shuffling me around literally for 7 years. It's nobody's job to investigate. Meanwhile, my disabilities are used as an excuse to harm me. And, you know, I have gotten the runaround so often that I know when people are going to start playing victim. I know that when they start pushing that drugging thing, the medication thing over and over again, that is victim blaming and victim shaming. And it is hurtful. It makes us afraid to come to anybody for help. I'm
Okay,
easy to
sir.
talk over.
I worked in the mental health field for 33 years. 33 years.
And I grew up in the system, and
I've
I'm
met
42.
some of the sweetest, nicest, caring people, from doctors, nurses, administrators.
Female
even
nurses
down
in
to
this
the
country
psychiatric
account for
aides who
more
help people.
deaths, literally account for more, a higher body count than any other serial killers that we have ever had in this country, or any other country for that matter. So as much as
That's an
you've met
opinion.
some
That is
sweet
not a
people, we're not
fact.
going to pretend that every
That's an
medical,
opinion.
we're not going to pretend that every
That's
Medicare
an opinion.
professional, we're not going to pretend that every Medicare professional is Superman, okay? That's not what we're doing here. You're being very unprofessional.
Yeah, I understand, sir. Everybody is being something to you. The police, the hospital. You're
Well, that's what I come to expect. You notice when they stop giving a shit, right? Motherfuckers. Just so you know, I don't want to mislead the situation. I hung up on that bitch. I guess I'm going to have to let my phone recharge a bit, and that lady can kiss my ass. If she'd have shut up and listened, then I could connect point A to point B, but she wouldn't shut the fuck up. What a fucking retarded goddamn cunt. It's too bad I don't have a picture of her to post up.